Hello. We already talked about the single responsibility principle. Let's move on to the next one, to the open-closed principle of solid. Okay, let's go back to this side and read the definition. The open-closed principle states that software entities should be open for extension but closed for modification. And what does it mean? It can be hard to understand a formalization. Let me explain. Let's imagine you're using some library and you can't go and change anything in the source code. And that's normal behavior when you don't meddle in the library source code. And the open-close principle is about design, oddly enough. Is about can you design your application so that another programmer will not be in need to go and change your source code, to modify your entity, to modify your methods, to add new if statements, switch conditions, and several things. And the open close principle is about that. And yes, on the one hand, it's good to have sealed entities and, a rigid monolithic system, but you have to understand by returning to the anti-solid principles and following OCP too closely, you will end up with too many abstractions. Many people want to make their code very flexible, and end up getting confused and stuck. Let's look at the order class. Order has some fields, and this very scary method catches the eye immediately. And what I want to say, if you change the type of this field to special enum and you will create the special enum, you won't get better solution, because if you want to expand this method, you will have to add new if statements, and it means that you will break the open close principle, and this method will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And I also want you to pay attention to the constructor. We require special value is an order is international one, and this is another violence of the open close principle, because when you want to add new delivery ways or delivery types, you will have to add new parameters to your constructor. And there is also the order item class, and there is nothing interesting, just flat object with fields and get methods. The first though that springs to mind is to create the special interface delivery and change the type of this field to that interface. And then remove this method and create another one which returns delivery. Okay, I had created the delivery interface with only one method, calculate price, and changed the type of this field, and now I demand delivery in the constructor. And let's remove this method, because now we don't need for this, and add the special getter, public delivery, get delivery, return delivery. And we will be able to calculate price outside the order. And I also offer to delete this method, because now we can delegate all delivery calculation to this method in the delivery interface. I've written with one implementation the query delivery and implemented the delivery interface and overridden this method. And here I wrote all logic related to price calculation for the current order. Can we say now that that's all, that the open-close principle is followed here? And let me return you to the single responsibility principle, because I've already made video about that. I can say that now we have some mistakes related to rules. For example, what will happen if the rule for weight calculation will change? Or why courier delivery knows these values? Why 500 or why 10 kilograms? And let me show you how to make this solution more appropriate. At the first, I've changed this field. Before this, there was the total weight, but now we store and require only unit weight, and if we want to get total weight, we can call this method and get. Okay, and now let's move on to the order. I want to remove this field and this and this method too, because order shouldn't know anything about delivery. Now we are approaching to the single responsibility principle. I've created another interface, the price rule, and this interface will be responsible for different delivery rules. And I've also written one implementation, the base price rule, and overridden this method. And you can set here any value, and this value will be the minimum price for any order. For example, at the night, the minimum price for each kilogram is 300 bucks. That's this value will be multiplied with total orders weight. And let me show you another rule. I've already expanded the order, not modified. I've expanded that and added one more field, is fragile. And let's add a new rule, and we will check here. If the order is fragile, we will add the surcharge to the total sum. Now we can return to our courier delivery and replace this logic with the new one. And I store all rules as list here, and when we want to calculate the total summary, we can call this method, and each rule will be applied and returned as the summary. And the last thing I want to show you is an example. I created delivery with a couple of rules and initialized the list with different items. It's not important now which items are there. And then I created an order, and the last thing is to calculate the total price. Let's call the calculate price method from our delivery and print the result. Let's look at this result, and yes, this result is correct, and it means that our code works perfectly. If you want to see more videos about Solid and project design, you can subscribe to my channel and give me a like, but today that's all. Thank you for watching this video, bye bye, see you.